Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me this afternoon. I have a card today for you that could be anything. The one that was sent to me that was my inspiration says, "Our friendship is timeless." And then I wrote to the lady who is on my team. Her name is Vicki Bogenberger, and I asked Vicki if she minded if I used her card as inspiration for one of my videos, and she said no, go for it. So I'm doing that. This is Vicki's card. Vicki's on my team. Her name is Vicki Bogenberger, and she's here in Denver, and she's got a real nice sense of style. All of her cards are really very well put together. Their composition is good. This is a perfect example. She's got stamping here, the vellum coloring, then she's got these pieces on here that are complementary, then embossing, and then die cuts underneath that you can see through. It's just well done. On the inside, she had "May your birthday be memorable," and then a message, but she's got some stamping and some more of the color in there. It's just a beautiful card, just lovely. And so this was the inspiration that I chose, and I used Lovely is the Day. It's a photopolymer stamp, and it has different kinds of things on it that I could have used, but I decided to just use the 3 flowers across the front, and then on the back side of it, I used the die set that goes with this to cut out the flower and a set of the leaves, and it's called Lovely Leaves Dies. And there's my flower, and there's a set of these leaves that I cut out of here. And so I used this stamp here, and let's see, did I use any of the other stamps? I didn't. And on this one, I thought I would make this a congratulations card. So I'm using the congratulations from Here's a Card. This Happy Mother's Day came from Itty Bitty Greetings. And Our Friendship is Timeless. I'm not sure which stamp set that came from, but when I find it, I'll put it on the screen for you. Okay, so I decided that today we would make this card out of Highland Heather. So I have Highland Heather cardstock here and Highland Heather ink, and I have a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And then I have 2 pieces of Whisper White that are 4 inches by 5 1/4, one to layer on the front and one to layer on the inside. Then I have my piece that would go across the card here. So it's 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, and my vellum piece is cut 3 1/4 by 5. Now, Vicki's vellum went all the way across the card to the end, and I think it's lovely. By accident, the way I stamped my flowers, I had to make mine a little bit shorter or it wouldn't have been on here the right way, and I decided I kind of liked it, so I'm leaving that. Now, I have 2 strips cut here that are 1/2 inch wide, and this one is 4 inches long to go on the inside of the card along one edge. Let me show you the inside of my card. I just did some stamping of the flowers down the side, and then on this piece of cardstock here, I stamped the flower in its same color along the edge just to add a little interest. And so I have this piece to put my congratulations on the outside, and I think we have everything we need here, so let's just get started. So one of the things that we need to do is to stamp, and I'm going to bring out, this is just a piece of fun foam. that I'm going to use as my cushion here to do my stamping. And I've got my piece of vellum. I wanted something dark underneath it so I could see exactly where I was stamping with my Versamark. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this piece of vellum with powder and my embossing buddy and get that nice and covered, and then put that on this dark surface that's got that sponginess to it. And I've got my flower stamp mounted right here, and I'm going to use my Versamark, and I'm going to, well, maybe I better wipe this down once just to make absolutely sure. I don't think there's anything on there, but one never knows. I think I clean them up in between, and sometimes they end up with just a little bit of residue anyway. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with my Versamark pad. In fact, maybe I'll come to the stamp on this one. And I'm going to stamp one of these flowers on this end, kind of centered but close to the end. And when you're trying to stamp 3 or 5 or something across the center, I would advise putting one on one end and one on the other, and that way you can gauge to get your one in the center stamped so that it really is in the center. Now I can see that perfectly, and I couldn't when I did my other stamp. So now, knowing that, I'm going to set this one sort of right over on this edge. And that way I know right where to put my flower in the middle. Right in the center of the 2 of those flowers. And there we go. Now I have my white embossing powder, and there's, no matter how you do it, because of the way this flower leans, it's going to be more to one side than the other, and that's just the way it kind of works out. I'm going to take this and get the white embossing powder on it, and knock off the excess, and I'll set that aside. So I'll need it for something else soon. And let's see, it looks like got a bit of stray powder over here, which I'll brush away, and I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to quiet the video and melt this powder, and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. We'll give that a second to dry. Then I'm going to take my strip of paper here and do the same thing to it. Cover it with my embossing buddy on the card, and then put my congratulations down. This congratulations is barely going to fit on this strip of paper, so I'm going to put it down on the end here. Hopefully that'll be straight. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, same thing. I'm going to put this in my embossing powder, and I'm going to heat set that, and I'll be right back. You know, I know that heat embossing is very easy to explain. It's little bits of plastic and it just melts onto the surface of your paper. But I never get tired of the magic of watching your embossing powder set. It's a wondrous thing. All right, so I'm going to use my mini trimmer here and going to set that up to cut the edge right there. And there our sentiment is all ready to go. All right, so then the stamping that I have left to do is the stamping. Oh, there was one other stamp that I used with this. I used the leaf stamp to kind of go around the edge here. So let me get that and we'll go ahead and do our stamping on this piece of paper here. Okay, I have my stamp here and my ink. And what I really want is this little edge to stamp pretty close to the edge of the white so that we can just see it peeking out. And this little stamp is perfect. Let me put a piece of scratch paper underneath that in case I go off the page. Because it's got kind of a flat end to it, or a flat side. So I'm going to stick this way over in the corner, hopefully keep my head out of the shot, and stamp that right at the top. There, perfect. And then I'm going to do that again, just right down here, and again right at the top. There we go. Now I'm going to turn it around and do exactly the same thing on this end. There we go. Now, when we put our piece of Highland Heather on there, that stamping is going to show on either side of it, and I think that's very, very attractive. This is just such a lovely design. All right, so I think, nope, we have a little bit of stamping to do yet for the inside of the card. So I'm going to clean off my stamp here with my chamois. Get that as clean as I can get it. And then I'm going to stamp in Highland Heather again. I put that away a little bit too soon. So here I have my flower, and if you see what I did on the inside is I stamped this little flower right here on the card, coming in from the side towards the top, and then again just below it towards the bottom. And there we have that. Now we also have this little piece, the 4-inch piece, to go along the side here. And what I did was I inked up my stamp again and put the image of the flower down on that strip, tone on tone. There we go. And then one more right underneath it, just to add a little bit of interest. And that, I think, now is all of the stamping. So I'm going to set that aside, and I think we have all of the pieces here to put our card together. Now on this card, on Vicky's card, she used enamel dots. On this card, I used rhinestones from the Holiday Rhinestone Pack. And on this card, I think I'm going to use the ones from the Noble Peacock because they've got the purple. Now the purple is a little bit more intense, but I think that's okay. So it's either that or go back to some kind of purple sequins, which we don't have a lot of. We have some in the basic sequins. But let's start by putting this piece together here for the inside. And so I'm going to take some snail and just run it down this piece and attach it to my card for the inside. And I'm going to match it up exactly right at the top. And if anything, I cut these a little bit long. Let's see if that's on there straight. Yeah, I think so. And that way I can just trim off the edge and then it will fit perfectly. So this is now ready to go on the inside of my card, and isn't that pretty? All right, so I'm just going to add some snail to my card and put this on the inside of my card. There we go. All right, now then, what I did was I took my vellum piece and I went ahead and put my embellishments on this so that I could turn it over, and that's where I put my little dots of glue on the back side. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my take-a-pic tool here, and I'm going to add some rhinestones here. I'm going to add a great big one down here in this corner and kind of a big one up in this corner. And then next size, I think I ended up putting 5 on here. So one there, one down here, and then maybe one more in the middle. All right, the only other thing I need to do before I put this together is do my die cutting. So I'm going to take my 2 dies and I'm going to cut out the flower and the leaves so we have something to peek through to look at, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is my piece now with the die cuts, and I think we'll save these because I might be able to use those on something else. All right, so here is my die cut piece, and this is going to need to go on the top of here, centered, and I'm going to use where I've put my rhinestones to add my glue to the back of my vellum. As you know, vellum's hard to stick down because you can see the glue often. I'm going to set that down there and just put little bits on this. All right, now then, this can be set down on here, and that's going to go down with it being matching top to bottom and having just a little margin on either side. And then because it's Tombow, I should be able to set that so that it's on there nice and straight with the right margin on either side. There we go. Perfect. Now then, I can add regular glue to the back of this piece. So I'm going to add snail. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This I put up on dimensionals, and so I'm going to do that to put this piece up on dimensionals so that the whole card front is lifted up. And in fact, on this, I end up using, in this case, I'm using dimensional bones here, but any kind of dimensional. And I used actually quite a few on this because with these cutouts, I want those areas supported where there is card cut away. So I'm putting a few more than I might ordinarily put on so that the center part of my card doesn't end up sagging. And this is probably overkill, but dimensionals are not terribly expensive. And if I'm going to put time and effort into a card, I sure don't want it coming apart later. Okay, now then, this is going to go on to, let me move those dies out of the way. This is going to go on to this piece and center from top to bottom and cover the card right to left. There we go. All right. Now this whole piece is going to get some snail. Very uneven back, but that's okay. That's the way this card ends up coming together. And this piece is now ready to go on our card front. With a similar border all the way around. Very good. Now then, on this piece, I cut up the center of a couple of them and then used my pick tool to take those half of a mini dimensional, because this part down here is going to sit on top of the card, but that's raised, so it has to have support on the bottom end of this, and so some half-dimensional pieces to go on the bottom is going to be just about right. And I'm going to add one more piece, or kind of half, down here at the bottom, and then after I peel these off, I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the upper level of this, because that's going to actually stick on the card itself. Okay, so there we go. There's our congratulations, which I'm going to set right down here. There's a little bit of the white showing. There we go. I could have had that rhinestone be up just a little bit further, but that's still pretty good. So that is it on that card. You'll have to tell me of the cards that I have here, which you like best. We have Vicky's original, which I think is just gorgeous. And actually, hers might be my favorite because the actual stamping on this card and the way this particular stamp fills up the card and pierces the back is more of a whole card concept, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And then I have the purple one that we made today, that's congratulations, and the lovely lipstick one that is Happy Mother's Day. So again, you'll have to let me know what you think about those, and thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. And let's see, this is April. My prize draw is the Well Said, it's really not a bundle anymore, but the Well Said dies and the Well Written, I think it is, stamp set. That's a 2-box stamp set. So lots of sentiments, both stamped and that you can cut out. And all you have to do is put an order of any size on my blog, on my site here, lbedinger.stampinup.net. You can get to it through my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. My April online card class is open until the 15th, I think it is. I decided to leave it open till the 15th of the month, and it is a technique class. So it's a little bit less expensive. With that, you're going to get the pigment sprinkles and a spritzer and some card bases and some watercolor paper, and we're going to explore using pigment sprinkles and making backgrounds for your cards. It should be lots of fun. And then I'll show you at the end of the video several cards that I made from some of the things that we are going to do. So it should be a fun one. And like I said, that's open until the 15th. So let's see. That's it for me today. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye.